Welcome, everybody, to the Scale Up Show. This is Ryan Staley, your host. I am here with Russell Rothstein. Russell is a two-time Bootstrapped founder. He's the father of 5 kids. He's currently the CEO of IT Centralization, which has basically a $3 trillion, that's trillion with a T, market opportunity in enterprise tech through crowdsourcing, product reviews, and he's grown to 8 figures plus after 9 years of bootstrapping, and they just took on $30 million in funding. So super excited to go through your journey today. Russell, welcome, man. Happy to have you on the show.
Good. Thanks for having me, Ryan.
It's so funny. I come from that enterprise IT space as well, software managed services, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, it's got to be so hard for these guys. Now, granted, I didn't take the initiative like you did and start a company around it. Otherwise, our chairs might be opposite, right? but my point
you'd have less hair. Believe me, Ryan. You'd have less hair if we switched seats.
No, I appreciate that, man. But it was funny because I was thinking about it, like when I went through and the IT executives would basically say to me, like, Ryan, like, it's so hard to figure out like who's good and who's not, and like you spend so much time evaluating projects. So I could see where there'd be a massive opportunity to help people with that, because I mean, firsthand, decision makers express that to me time in and time out. So kudos to you for making the move on that.
Absolutely, Ryan. If you talk to people who are making those decisions today for enterprise software, they say that, over the last 5 years, 10 years, they'd rely on Gartner. Gartner would be the most, say, influential or well-known influencer of how they make decisions about what vendors to choose or what products to buy. And if you ask them consistently, this is what we did in our early research, they said they're just very skeptical of the data that they get in these Magic Quadrant reports. Why is it? And again, for those in the audience who don't know, a Magic Quadrant report is Gartner's ranking of different products and vendors in the market, and there's no transparency. No one knows why a dot is in a leader's quadrant and why a dot is in a different quadrant. These reports are put out maybe once every 1.5 to 2 years. They're not dynamic, they're not online, and they're not personalized. So there's a perception of pay to play. At least that's the perception in the market. And so when we started to talk to these people who are making these enterprise technology purchases, that's what we kept hearing time after time. They were very dissatisfied with the advice, the way that they can get the best information for their purchasing decision. And again, that gave us further validation for the idea.
So how did you create revenue when you're going through that stage? What did you do? What was your revenue model or monetization model? Kind of, how did you start to get the engine running?
Yeah. Well, first of all, the beauty of it is we never pivoted. So in our 9.5-year history, we're continuing to execute on the initial vision. Again, so some of the functionality, features, product offerings have changed somewhat, but the vision has really been consistent for our entire period. So we were about, as a review platform, enabling enterprise technology companies to surface the opinions of their customers, for their customers, to make it easy for their customers to write reviews, and then to enable those buyers to be able to read reviews and contribute reviews and be part of the community. And so we monetize our customer base are the technology vendors, software companies like Cisco or IBM or Microsoft, those types of and cybersecurity companies and IT management software companies and venture-backed companies as well. And so we knew who our customer base was, even in the early stage. We knew what kind of offering that we were going to be providing them. And in the early stages, it's about finding that early champion. And they come out. I mean, you have to spend time with them. You have to cast a wide net. But it's amazing how many people got it early on. And then when you find those champions who believe in your vision, right? You have to articulate your vision, share your vision, develop a relationship, right? Meaning lots of dinners and beers and early breakfasts or whatever was needed to meet with some of these potential customers. And then when you find a few that really believe in the vision, then they'll take a chance on you. And we were fortunate. We had a number of visionaries mostly in the Silicon Valley area, enterprise technology marketers who understood the power of voice of customer marketing and the power of using reviews in their marketing. And they were the ones who are initial customers. And so how did I find those people originally? Certainly I tapped into my network. That was helpful. Not every entrepreneur has a broad network, so you just got to continue to find people who could help you. Go to as many trade shows as you can. There aren't as many trade shows these days, but whatever you can to network, you do have to do a tremendous amount of networking in order to find those people who will be your early advocates, who will take a chance on you.
You had to build up a community of people that consume it. How did you do that?
Yeah. So we have a community of registered members of over 580,000 registered enterprise technology buyers. And the way we've built it is by really, it's about trust, transparency, getting the trust of these technology professionals who would come to IT Central Station and they'd see the kind of reviews. And in order to get our buyer's guides and other premium assets, they would have to register. There's no cost associated with it, but we would ask them to register, provide their contact details, and join the community. And so we have a very large community of people who have opted in, provided their contact details, part of the community, and they stay engaged because they see that basically they've benefited from other people who've shared their opinions. The number one driver for people to contribute content online on any site, whether it's Reddit, whether it's a review site like IT Central Station, whether it's TripAdvisor reviews, the number one driver is actually altruism. It's not for like getting a gift card to write a review. The number one strongest driver is to be able to help other people. So when people see that they've been helped, they read reviews that are genuinely helpful, and they see that they was contributed by other people, they're willing to give back to the community. And so we've really activated that as part of our model. We really use it's really learning from the Maslow hierarchy of needs. And the highest form in the Maslow hierarchy of needs is self-actualization. And that means to enable a business professional to be able to help others is at that highest self-actualization. You're actually contributing, making the world a better place, making others more successful in their jobs, all those things. And we activate those levers as opposed to some other review sites out there, which just go around and throw around gift cards to people to provide reviews, which may convert into reviews and does convert into reviews, but that you're not going to get a community built that way. The way you build community is by enabling people to help others, not by paying people to write reviews.
So Russell, let's talk about that. So a 9-year overnight success. I love how you categorize that, right? It's kind of funny because I'm finding it more and more. Like you hear these press releases where they're like, they went from 1 million to 5 million in 1 year, but the prior 3 years they had zero revenue. Like they kind of leave that part out of the press release. So I think it's awesome that you're candid about the journey on the way there. So why don't you talk us through a little bit about what the journey was like from 0 to 1 and how long that took, and just kind of what was involved with that, because that's a really hard kind of threshold to get past for a lot of people.
Yeah. I think every stage is hard, but certainly there's some unique aspects of that sort of early 0 to 1 stage. And you've got to be patient. Because you've got to spend a lot of time understanding customer needs, building a product, and getting to a good amount of product market fit, building out an MVP at least, and be able to validate this is something that customers want. Because whatever you come up with, whatever your initial, and I've been involved with a number of startups, and my background is on the product management, product marketing side, your initial idea for a product is never what you end up going to market with. There's always going to be changes as you get more and more customer feedback. So you've got to be patient.